St. Louis is known for the arch, our sports, our Midwestern charm, and that show-me state attitude. But what many people don't know about is the creative community that exists in this city. Reality shows, documentaries, stage productions, and feature films are all being produced right here in St. Louis. As a producer, a commercial actor, and a TV host, I am part of this hustle and grind to make creative media in this city. I'm Sarah Bernard, here to show you what's happening on the set. Welcome to On the Set. I'm Sarah Bernard. Filmmaking is alive and well in St. Louis, and today we're going to meet with some of the key players from one of the latest projects out of St. Louis, Four-Way Stop. Paul, tell us about the film. Give us a synopsis.
The film is basically about inner city youth, a 17-year-old kid by the name of Alan, who is trying to do better for himself and try to get out of the situation he's in. He doesn't want to live in the same area, want to do the same things, and want to do what everyone else wants him to do. He wants to go to school, he wants to do better, he wants to get a good job, a better house, a better situation to provide for his family, and do something better. And it's basically about you're trying to do what you want to do with your life and making it happen, even though you have all of these things around you pulling you down.
So tell me this, why should I hire you?
My name's Alan Thomas. I'm here for an interview with Mr. Spade.
Someone's here to interview for you. I don't think he's gonna fit.
You know that's why I'm here, right? To help you keep your head up. Because we all know you ain't getting no new job.
We have many eligible candidates for this job, Mr. Thomas.
I just need the challenge.
But do you want the challenge?
Do you even want me to get a better job?
What I want is for you to keep the damn job you already have.
Ambition, nice house, nice neighborhood, nice family.
Yeah.
I'm not really getting that from you.
This is my man. He's gonna be staying with us for a while.
Think I'm supposed to be scared?
And I'm in the now. And it don't take no x-ray to see right through my smile. I know I'll be on the go.
There's money on top of the TV. Take it to this guy, Tim Lock. Just tell him my name. You know what I mean.
You know everything will turn out okay, right?
Man, it's all about figuring out how bad you want it. You don't have to go get a job to get money, Alan. You don't have to go back to school to go get educated. Why shouldn't buying a house be like buying penny candy? What do you want, Alan?
What are your goals?
When people see films, they don't necessarily realize how long that whole project took. And filming was a 3 or 4 week project last summer, 2014. When did the project actually start for you?
For me, this project started in about 2012 when Effie contacted me with just kind of casually feeling out, yay, I have a script. You know, I have this idea when I come to St. Louis to produce the story.
So Effie, just going back, she's a St. Louisan, native St. Louisan, and she was the writer and the director for the film.
Correct. Effie wrote and directed the film. She's from South St. Louis. She grew up off of Grand. We actually shot the bulk of the film just a couple blocks away from where she grew up. Funny enough, she just moved to New York to go to design school and pursue, a different career. When she realized, I have to come back to St. Louis to make this movie.
So you two started talking a couple of years before production took place. The script was already written at that point.
She began to write the script shortly after, I think it was the presidential debates. The topic of the debates was what they're going to do to help underserved communities, and not really getting the sense that the answer had been reached through these debates. And so she started to kind of formulate a story that was relevant, not so much to any particular race issues or anything like that, but just more so looked closer into the life of someone who was living in one of these underserved communities.
And where are you at right now today? We're in early 2015 with the film.
Effie was able to come into town over the holidays, and we were able to do our initial test screenings. So we have completed a cut of the film, then it's going to be heading more into the more fine cut, just polishing kind of steps, and then we're off into trying to share the film with the world.
What have been the challenges for you in making this film?
One of the biggest ones was the actual window of time we had to produce the film. Effie has such a demanding work schedule now that she has a job with a nonprofit in New York that she literally had 2 weeks and some change home to actually produce the film. We shot 6 days, then 1 day off, 6 days, 1 day off. We had a total of, I believe, 17 shoot days. Just bam, 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 bam.
So Paul, let's talk about your role in the film, Alan. Who's Alan?
Alan is an inner city youth who's trying to build himself up and make a way, provide for his mother, his father, trying to do better than what society wants him to do, trying to get a better job, trying to do something. The weight of the world is on his shoulders.
Did you feel any similarities to Alan? Is Alan like Paul?
It's a lot of similarities because I do want to do better for myself. I want to provide for my family as Alan does. Make sure my mom doesn't have to struggle. Make sure my dad is not struggling himself. And Alan really wants his dad to be there, a pull and push type of thing, because his mom is pulling him from going to his dad's house, building this relationship and having this relationship because of what his dad is doing, this guy, these drugs.
On.
Yes.
So you auditioned for Four-Way Stop.
Yes, I did.
Last summer, so just before filming started.
Mm-hmm.
What drew you to the project?
I would have to say the script. And at the time, I didn't have a full-fledged script to even go through, but just the size that they sent me for, the characters that they wanted me to audition for, I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Okay, so what was amazing? Because you play the role of the father.
Yes, I played the role of Charles. You're just looking at the backstory from it, like different remarks that he made, and I guess the situation that Paul, where Alan, his character, and I were involved in. I'm like, it has its highs and lows. It has its, I guess you could say, comedic moments between him, and then you also have like the moments you're like, I feel sorry for Charles, not only Charles, but his son having to endure this type of lifestyle.
How did you get yourself into character physically, emotionally?
Oh man, you have me go back to the shame days, the walk of shame. Literally, I didn't eat, I lost weight. Normally I'm around like 200, 190, something like that. I went down to about 165, 170. It was a homeless park downtown I stayed at for a couple of days just to, mindset to get in there. And I remember when me and some other actors from Four-Way Stop went down to the Delmore Loop area, and literally I was walking down asking people for money, scratching, screaming out loud, and people were staring around like, what's going on with this guy, and stuff like that. And I never got out of character at all. So that's my little process with that.
About funding, how hard was it? You obviously, actors, many of you were unpaid. A lot of the people working in the film were unpaid, but you have expenses. There's always going to be expenses. So how did you handle that?
We came into the project, Epi had raised $10,000. And then we got this crazy idea. We're like, well, we want to do a Kickstarter. Why not do it during production? Which was probably crazy. It was kind of great for us. It was a fantastic motivator. So not every day were we, creating an awesome movie. We were finding ways to share our experience while it was happening.
And I think people don't understand, if you've never done a Kickstarter, you don't realize how much work is involved in doing a Kickstarter campaign.
So earlier that summer I had done a separate Kickstarter for a separate project. And so I got to learn how much work it is to upkeep a Kickstarter campaign. You always have to be in social media, always have to be talking about it. You always have to be looking for other people to talk about it.
Crowdfunding with Kickstarter and other types of crowdfunding, is it something that you would recommend for filmmakers?
Crowdfunding is one of many great ways that filmmakers can raise money that wasn't available to us, years ago. It was a lot more begging friends and family and seeking investors and stuff like that. So I think crowdfunding is a fantastic tool.
Soon after your film, filming was completed, here in St. Louis, we had the Michael Brown situation. Which was it, Paul, real life Paul, or character Alan that you feel could relate more to what was going on with Michael Brown?
It was both, and it's just crazy how things work. The Michael Brown situation happened a couple blocks from where I grew up. I was still in Alan mode, but just to be getting out of that, and I'm just like, man, it could have been anybody, honestly. It could have been me.
Doesn't matter if you're Paul or Alan or On.
Honestly, it's not more of a race thing with me. It can be anybody. Anybody can have a bad situation. They're a blacks, whites, Chinese, anybody can be born into a bad situation. A lot of people will say, okay, I'm a black youth. I do have it harder, which I agree with. I will have it harder than someone else born into my same situation. So that does drive me, but I don't use the race card as a crutch.
How much do you feel that the movie, Four-Way Stop, is about the race issues in our society, or not at all?
You will have those thoughts like, okay, if he was white, would he be getting this? It makes you wonder. It makes you think.
No, there's a scene where we show Alan waiting all day for an interview, and you see another white young male come in for the same interview, and you see the tension that is created by that situation. And there's some additional tension created by the secretary, who's an older white lady, and the scene it really gets people.
Paul, when you saw the finished film, what were your thoughts?
With viewing the film, it was like I was critiquing myself so much. I'm just like, oh my God, like how is somebody gonna feel about this? Like, should I have not been so strongly opinionated with this? And I don't know you from an acting standpoint if you feel that same way, but it's just like I'm critiquing what I'm doing, and everybody else is around you is just saying, it's amazing, this was great. It starts to make the tension like go down.
What advice do you have for actors in St. Louis?
Work hard. Practice your craft. You might get a million no's, but somebody's gonna say yes to you. Do your research. Just because you have headshots, look for a better photographer. Just because you have a resume, make sure you get your resume updated frequently. It's just an ongoing process.
Hannah, what advice do you have for filmmakers in St. Louis or wannabe filmmakers?
Filmmaking has a lot of barriers, financial barriers, finding the right talent. Kind of like we did in Four-Way Stop, we just push through, we barrel through no matter what the circumstances are. If you want to make a movie, just go out and do it. You know, make it raw. Make sure everyone else knows you're passionate about it, and everything else will fall into place.
So we've talked about the race issues in the film and in our lives, and what about the industry? Here in St. Louis, the media, the film industry, the acting industry, do you find that there is the right amount of racial diversity?
Well, I will say I've worked in the industry for close to 8 years now, and Four-Way Stop was the first truly biracial set. It's kind of a shame to say it, you know, even being a woman in production, there's a lot of gender bias as well. I mean, it is an industry that is really, at least the technical side of it, is really dominated by the white male. Gender and racial bias in the industry is really detrimental because there's some amazing talent that, you know, is outside of just that one demographic.
You all probably have very different answers to this question, but why does Four-Way Stop, this film project, matter?
I remember once the Ferguson event started to unfold, I remember getting on the phone with Effie, and we were just like, let's talk about this. You know, we just finished this movie that is so remotely connected to the themes of what's going on in our city right now. And one of the things we really want to use this film for is to actually have screenings that have an educational component where people from the community can come and talk about it.
And why does this film matter?
I think this movie will possibly show people that if you're trying, good things should be rewarded to good behavior.
To make it out of that is what you have to do. You have to make it happen for yourself.
It's a four-way stop for a reason. It's not a one-way street. You got other directions you can go in life.
I think we all can relate to the experiences of the cast and crew that we've heard today in this interview. Four-Way Stop is a timely film and sure to promote conversation. You can learn more about the film and its debut at fourwaystopfilm.com. Thanks for joining us for another episode of On the Set.